There's always a lot of excitement with everything around UP Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath. Remember all the fuss about his first cabinet meeting and then the first 100 days in office. Well, the first budget for the state of Uttar Pradesh was presented by his government today and no one's really talking much about it. So we at BloombergQuint thought it would make sense to look through that budget as carefully as we could and find out how the UP government is provisioning for 36,000 crore rupees of farm loan waivers. Remember, Uttar Pradesh was the first government to announce that farm loan waiver and a lot have followed after that. Possibly a lot of other states are also figuring out how to pay for that farm loan waiver, and maybe there are some clues in the UP government budget. Let's take a look first at what has come across in the budget today, which was presented today by UP State Finance Minister Rajesh Agarwal. Well, the total size of the budget is 3,84,000 odd crore rupees. New welfare schemes of 55,782 crore rupees have been announced in this budget as well. There is a significant spend on the Swachh Bharat mission. 1,000 crore rupees have been provisioned for that. The farm loan waiver has been provisioned for in the budget at 36,000 crore rupees, and we will go into much more detail on that in just a bit from now. The PM's urban housing scheme has been provisioned for 3,000 crore rupees there. Of course, there are new schemes for school bags for girls going to school, which has also got a provision of about 100 crores. So a lot of little schemes like that. But let's look at the big numbers. The fiscal deficit has actually been going down over the last 3 years in the UP state. For FY18, the budgetary estimates are at 41,473 crore rupees. A significant drop from FY17 at 55,021 crore rupees. Let's take a look at the government expenditure, which is also going up at 36,300, significantly going up from the previous year. Still not clear where the farm loan waiver exists in those numbers, and that's what we're going to try and find out. Let's tell you what the UP government had said after its first cabinet meeting, where they declared that that farm loan waiver will be given. Remember, it was a pre-poll promise, and Siddharthnath Singh spoke with BloombergQuint saying that the money will be raised through Kisan Rahat bonds. And when we raise the bonds, I'm sure the bank's outstanding amount will be taken care of with that. We will then gradually ease the money out. Let's also tell you why we think that this is a significant story to talk about today and why we're looking at what the UP government is doing in its budget. It is significant because after Uttar Pradesh, a number of states, including Punjab and Maharashtra, have announced various farm loan waivers. And where they will pay for those is the big question. The central government has made it clear that it cannot give any finances for these farm loan waivers, and even in the context of Uttar Pradesh, that has been made very clear by Finance Minister Arun Jaitley. No news has come out so far, no real action has happened on those Kisan Rahat bonds. So the big question is that where is that money coming from? Have new taxes been raised? Will new taxes be raised? And where really is that tax buoyancy coming in? So to speak more about that, we have a professor of economics from JNU, Mr. Manoj Pant, with us. Thank you so much, sir, for speaking with BloombergQuint. Now, you've had an opportunity to look at the Uttar Pradesh budget, which was in Hindi, and you've gone through it. What are the key factors that have struck you? What was your first reading of the budget?
Well, first, thank you for having me on your show. First interesting part, of course, is that they are spending about 10.5% more than last year.
Okay.
In the total budget. Now, the interesting part is obviously one thinks of the important things that have been talked about, as you mentioned, 30,000 odd crore farm loan waiver, the Swachh Bharat, and housing. Now, these seem to be the three big items which I can see, and I'm not able to see where the farm loan waiver will figure. But I know that they provided about 3,000 crores for Swachh Bharat in terms of both toilets and expenditure, and another 3,000 odd crores on housing for the poor, Bulandshahr, Agra, Kapra, other places. Now, these are two main items. Apart from this, I don't have too many details yet, but there are no other major big expenditure tickets. Now, the question is, if you look at the numbers, they are all lower than before, except that the earning through tax, that is tax in the state, is up by about, let's say, 820, about 29,000 crores.
Okay.
Then there's an RBI item which is up by about 6,000 crores. I think that's a ways and means advance from the RBI, which is up by about 1,000 crores. And then they have a savings, Punji khate par vyay, means whatever they're going to spend on that of their money, they brought that down by about 20,000 crores.
Okay.
Now this 20,000 crore savings is not clear where they will do it.
No, so just to understand this, Professor, so you're saying that their capex is cut by about 20,000 crore rupees. They're going to spend less. Is that right? One way that they are possibly going to fund the farm loan waiver, because there's nothing explicitly mentioned in the budget?
Well, yeah, there's nothing in the budget, but there's about 20,000 crores here. There is about another 6,000 crores in ways and means advance from the RBI, which they must have put out. And there's another about 25,000 crores coming from additional taxes, from 1,92,800 to about 2,21,235 crores. So roughly about 21,800, say about 29,000 crores more over there. So you have about 29,000 crores there, about that's about 35,000 crores and about another 20 here. So about 55,000 crores is what I can make out they seem to be showing. Actually, that's pretty good if they can do it, because their budget deficit is down. Yes, their budget deficit numbers. Of course, remember, all budget numbers are provisional. What actually happens we know later.
Yes, of course.
But compared to the actual realization, their own savings is down by 12,000 and their own deficit, the budget deficit, is down by about, in terms of numbers, from 12,000 crores to 41,000 crores. And the primary deficit, which is about 27,000 crores, is also down to about 10,000 crores. So it seems like a pretty decent budget.
No, so
but it's not.
The question now is the how. The numbers you're saying seem good. Let's go through what questions now remain, and we will hopefully get an opportunity to place these questions in front of the Uttar Pradesh government. We've reached out to both the spokespersons of the Uttar Pradesh government, Siddharth Nath Singh and Shrikant Sharma, and we're trying to get a comment from them on these numbers and the questions which are raised. So if you can go through what needs to be asked. Number one, would it be fair to say that where is this 36,000 crore rupees going to be provided from? Where's the money coming from?
Yeah, the question there is it coming only from the savings, which is actually about 20,000 crores? Because Punji khate par vyay, as far as I can make out, is on your balance, on your books, what were you going to spend? That's down by almost 20,000 crores compared to last year. And then they need another 30,000 crores for these 55,000 crores of new expenditure. Now they're expecting about 20,000 crores more of taxes. What are those taxes? Are they expecting just tax buoyancy? Because you can see there is one called Karitar Rajaswa, which I think means, believe me, Hindi is not incredible, but it means the money they expect to get from the center as share of tax and so on. Now that's almost the same as last time. So they're expecting more tax revenues, about 20,000 crores. They're getting little more ways and means advance from the RBI.
Let's just go back to taxes for a second, sir. You are saying that either this additional tax income could be tax buoyancy, that means you're expecting more people to pay their taxes or pay more taxes, or you're raising tax rates or introducing new taxes. Now on option number 2, is there a likelihood in your view of raising new taxes? Is there scope for that?
They could.
None have been announced though in this budget.
Well, not the budget, but as I said, there's hardly a budget. It's more like a vote on account. Only 100 days that he's had. But they could. For example, your states are free to have professional tax. Now, I don't know at the moment how much professional taxes they have. The other question is, what do they expect on GST? I don't know what the calculations are yet. What are they expecting on central GST? What do they expect to happen to them? A lot of improbables. I'm just saying that if they are able to do what they're doing, it's a fairly decent budget.
No, fair enough. One more question, sir. The UP government, which was the first to kick off the farm loan waiver, and they announced about 36,000 crore rupees to waive off farm loans, they at that point had said that we're going to raise this money from Kisan Rahat bonds. so that there is no real pressure on state finances.
Yeah, true. There is, because then the payment of interest will be there in the bonds. Bonds are not free there. But you see, I don't see too much increase in expected expenditure on Bihaz Udai, means payment of interest from 27,000 crores to 30,000 crores. This is standard. This much would go up anyway on the debt outstanding. So I don't know where are the bonds? They must show up somewhere, because bond would be the liability.
Exactly.
Right? They would be the liability. Frankly, it's a very cursory look at the budget. I haven't looked in detail. I don't see where they have that liability showing up.
Okay, that's also an interesting question, because there has been no movement announced so far on the UP government actually raising those bonds, and possibly state finance ministers in Maharashtra and Punjab are also looking at what UP will do while they try to figure out how they will raise money for the farm loan waivers they have announced.
Well, let me tell you one. Let's put one way. They are in a slightly better state than Punjab. Because Punjab's problem is they have given the loan waiver and being in very tight debt situation. Their situation not so bad. All states are indebted, but Punjab, West Bengal and Kerala are the most indebted in the country. They are not so badly off. So he may be able to pull off the loan waiver a little more than Mr. Amrinder will. Now, how he will do it, I don't know, because Punjab is a completely bankrupt state. But they seem to have made a provision of where they made, I don't know. I don't know where the provisioning for the bond is, because there's a bonds that they're going to float, then they must show that on both the asset and the liability side. The liability side is the interest. It goes up by only 3,000 crores, which would go up in a normal case. So where is the asset showing up? Where is the liability showing up? I'm not able to see from this.
Okay.
The rest of the items, apart from Swachh Bharat and housing, are basically tinkering things here and there, something for women, something 50 or 30, readjustment, and nothing very major. I think these are three main things.
Okay, one overall slightly general question, sir, on the overall health of Uttar Pradesh. It has not been in the pink of health. Large fiscal deficits, large borrowings counted in the Bimaru states, and the Yogi government has also come with the promise of improving the health of the state finances. Do you see any clear direction on doing that, or any clear attempt to do that?
I do think it is there. See, remember one thing, whatever be the political situation, states are committed to bring down the budget deficit as given in the Finance Commission documents. It is, they have to do it. It's not a question of whether we are close to central government, not close. They have to bring down the budget, their fiscal deficit. And these people have brought it down, at least on paper, from 55,000 crores to 41,000 crores. Since the expenditure is more, right? Since the total budget is higher and the budget, fiscal deficit is lower, the gap, obviously share of this is coming down. So as a proportion of the expenditure, they are bringing the fiscal deficit down. That they are doing, but they have to do it. So nothing to be smart about it. Otherwise, they will be hauled up. They will not get the share of taxes from the center. Remember, Finance Commission is statutory commission. They have to observe the limits on budget deficit. So they don't seem to be doing anything too wrong there. They brought down the primary deficit, they brought down the fiscal deficit in terms of numbers, and they have their own savings is down from what is called Rajaswa budget, is down from 24,000 to 12,000.
You know, I saw that. In fact, it's item number 13 on the Uttar Pradesh budgetary document. If any of you want to go to the website and look at what is happening there. So state savings are down from 24,000 to 12,000 crore. Is that being corroborated with the 10% increase in spending? What does that figure mean?
Yes, they are spending more, 10% more over the last budget that they are doing. But as I said, how are they doing that? The crucial item is 20,000 crores of savings, item number 10, which they are doing compared to last time, and which you can see has never been done. It's very difficult to cut normal expenditure. It has stayed around 92,000 crores for 3 years. They're going to bring it down by 20,000 crores in 1 year.
Wow.
How they will do it, I don't know. Because there are no details.
You know, so you see why that is also interesting, and we're of course waiting to hear from the UP government. I'm being told that we will perhaps have an opportunity to speak with spokespersons from that government, so do stay on with us. Mr. Pant, we're going to try and do that in a bit from now, and we'll put in all of those questions to them as well. So, just to recap for everyone joining us in right now, looks like a really good budget on the face of it. The numbers match off. A couple of questions which need to be asked: where are you getting the money for the farm loan waiver, the 36,000 crore rupees? Your savings, you're saying, are going to go down by about 12,000 crore rupees. Maybe an explanation on that. And you're spending 10% more. Number one question: where is the money coming from?
And one more question: they could make the Hindi slightly simpler.
Okay, we'll give that feedback if we get an opportunity. Thank you so much for speaking to us, Professor Pant, who is explaining this Uttar Pradesh budget. But do stay tuned to BloombergQuint, because we are attempting to get a hold of the UP government in a very short while from now, and maybe pose some of those questions to them. So stay tuned to what's happening on BloombergQuint.
Okay.